The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. Even in the darkest times, even in the strongest storms, even when the sun is blotted out and the world is falling apart, the darkness cannot extinguish your light. Your will. No matter what is happening, no matter how hard the fight is, as long as you keep fighting, you win. Because the darkness only wins if you've let it. Do not let the darkness win. Fight.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
What's happening?
Welcome to Fighter, man. I don't know if Matt kind of ran it down to you a little bit, but this is your unconventional podcast, man. We're not here to talk about this fight or that fight. We're here to talk about you as a person, you as a fighter, where you come from, how you came up, what you may have struggled with, and hopefully somebody watching gets a little inspiration from it.
Sounds great.
Well, man, tell us about where you started at, man. Where you come from? Where were you born?
Maine, in the country.
Yeah, that's why I fucking thought that you were an hour ahead of me, because the other night Zach's like, he's from Maine. He's from Maine. So I'm like, okay, he's an hour ahead of me.
Yeah, no, but I've been living in Vegas for about 12 years.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. So, man, during your early years growing up, man, how was it? How was growing up for you?
Growing up, easy. I mean, I bounced around between Maine and Alaska. It was just whatever, just normal kid shit, back when kids played outside, had real lives.
Right. Man, where did you get your love for fighting? Where did that grow from?
I mean, I think it's more so, I don't know. I always fought. I was telling friends about it the other day. When you live in Alaska, when you live there for a whole year, they give you a dividend. And my mom would let me actually use my money for shit that I wanted. And I got boxing gloves one year. And I always was boxing people. Later on, fast forward to when I was in high school, I always had 2 pair of boxing gloves, and we'd be at parties, and I'd just throw them out, just get people fighting each other. And after football practices, after the weight room, just all the time, even down to when I lost a pair, and me and my best friend were pissed off at each other. We're like, fuck, I can only find 1 pair. So we wrapped up belts. He was right-handed, I was right-handed. And I was like, fuck it. We wrapped a belt around both of my right, his left, and we held hands, and we had a glove in the other hand, and we just beat the fuck out of each other just because we were mad. It was just mad at each other, and we're just like, fuck you, I want to hit you. So we did it conventionally.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
Did you, but even in football, I was like, so, I mean, yeah, I played up through college. I get personal fouls almost every single game for throwing punches. I knocked a kid out from Northeastern. I punched him in the helmet, out cold on the field. I would always throw punches. We even had our Shriners game, our for when I was a senior in Maine, and they some kid hit me in the back, and I turned around, and just punched him in the fucking mouth, and got a personal foul. And I always swing on people when it comes to sports.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So besides football, what other sports did you play? Just that?
I did basketball a little bit, and then I went to wrestling. And my senior year, I knew I was going to focus more on football, so I didn't do wrestling again because I didn't want to cut weight. I didn't want to risk getting injured.
So you graduated.
Knowing damn well, like if I had known I was going to become a fighter, I would have definitely wrestled to get a little bit more on my my background there. But whatever.
So you graduate high school. Did you go straight to college, or did you have like a scholarship or anything like that?
Yep, I played. I got a scholarship to play football at the University of Maine.
Oh, Tarpon, huh?
Maine, not Maryland.
Oh, God,
Black
where
Bear.
was my brain at just now?
Black Bear.
Oh, where the fuck was my brain? So,
Yeah, I played center.
Okay. So, did you graduate college?
No, I kind of lost my scholarship when I got too many concussions.
Hell
I
yeah.
obviously made the smart decision, become a fighter afterwards.
Hell yeah. So you lose your scholarship. You're no longer in college, so you decide to start pursuing a fight career then?
Well, no, because again, from Maine, there wasn't really much of an option for training. I just went, to work, and there was a guy, Jay Jack, who opened a gym, and I told him, because I was bouncing and he was bouncing in a bar next to me, and I was like, "Hey, you start doing day classes, I'm gonna join the gym." And I hounded him for probably 6 months. And then he opened it up. Well, hold on, let me back it up a little bit more. I was coaching high school football, and the kids were all like, "You should fight." There was the open tryouts for UFC 2, I think, was in Boston. And they're like, "You should go down." I'm like, "I don't train. They're like, "Fuck that. You're a badass. You can just beat people up with no skill. Like, you have the ability." And I'm like, "Cool, I appreciate it, guys, but I'm not going to go make a fool of myself." But it kind of put that little egg in there. And then when I met Jay, and he had his gym, and I was trying to get him to open his gym up, or open up during the daytime. And I saw him, and he's like, "Hey, starting this week, we're going to open up during our days, Tuesdays, Thursdays." I'm like, "All right, cool." So first Tuesday, I went in, I signed up, and, just started training jiu-jitsu and MMA from that point forward. And, that was the start.
So, when did you first go pro? Who called you up first?
I had one amateur fight. I was on the first amateur fight on the East Coast back in 2007. And even at that point, 2007, I was 25 years old, 24 years old. I wasn't about to sit here and keep fighting amateur for free. I was ready to go pro. And basically, that was my coach's kind of do I have the ability? How do I perform under pressure? He made me do one jiu-jitsu tournament before that, and I won my division. And he's like, "All right, you perform well under pressure. Do you want to fight MMA?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." And I fought an amateur fight, and it was funny because I TKO on him, and I'm just in the corners, bouncing up and down, just ready to roll. And he's like, put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, "Nobody else is coming. You're done. This is it." I was like, "Fuck that. Bring somebody else out. I want to just keep fighting." I didn't want to get out. I want to just keep on rolling. So yeah, my first pro fight was later in 2007.
Okay. And who did you start? What was the first promotion that you went with?
Full Force Productions back in Massachusetts with Mike Littlefield.
So at any time during all this, were there things that you were going through that may have that maybe had the potential to kind of derail things, or was everything?
No, yeah. My derailment came after I moved to Vegas. When I moved to Vegas, things were going pretty decent. Was on a decent path, and was cutting weight. I was training, 5-6 days a week. Everything was good. I was working. And then I went back home to Maine to fight. Got a bunch of phone calls, a few text messages kind of put me on, some shit. And when I came back from my fight to my ex cheating on me. My wife. She was my wife with my kid. And that basically was the first derailment. Obviously, started drinking a bunch, put on a shit ton of weight. Because that fight, I weighed 197. I was making my way to 185. Had Joe Silva. He was contacting my coach saying, asking if I'd made 85 yet. And I was like, no. My coach, John, out here, he's like, no. And I had that verbal agreement of like, if he makes 85 and wins, he has a UFC contract. And I never, I was never able to get my body back down to that level. I had went through that. That was like 2012. Tore my ACL in 2013, maybe. And I want to say later on, like I was like 4 months post-surgery when they did the tryouts for 185 when John Jones was the coach. And my coach, John Wood, he was John Jones's like main coach in the process or in the show. And it was like, at that point, I was already a UFC alternate for the heavyweight season that Kimbo was on. Mm-hmm. I was an alternate for that season. The producers loved me. I didn't even have to try out. Like I would have just walked into the home as long as I passed my physical, But life gets in the way and gained a shit ton of weight. There was no way I was making 185 anymore without dying.
So what helped you get past that? What helped you get past that derailment in your life, that problem that came up and for a lot of people, man, losing the woman you love can really fuck you up. As a man, it can really fuck you up.
Nah, fuck that.
Oh,
yeah, fuck that. Losing the woman I love, that doesn't even fucking matter. Losing your son, that's what matters. Like, the first thing she did was took off for like 6 months back to New York. So I didn't have my kid for like 6 months, and that fucked me up. Just my due diligence. I didn't sleep on it. I didn't, or like take my sweet ass time and wait for a year or two and then finally get to the judge and state my case. Like I did it immediately. So he never lost his citizenship, not citizenship, but like his status of being a resident of Nevada.
Yeah.
He never became a resident of New York. So that I had in my back pocket, and it just, like I fought a good fight and just was smart. And it was, the hard part was I had, again, like I'm a huge draw when it comes to fighting in Maine. Like a lot of people come out for me. I have a shit ton of fans that I love, and they always come out for me. And I had to turn down fights because I was in this custody battle. Like basically now there's like one main organization out of Maine, and he was trying to get me to fight. I'm like, look, I can't. I'm like, I don't even know when my court hearing's going to be. He's like, yeah, but you'll know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm not taking it. And the fight he wanted me to do, like I ended up having to go to court on the Wednesday, and the fight was on a Friday. Like I was like, I'm so glad I didn't take that fight. I put my life and I put my family first and took care of that. And, like it made it hard. Like I fought maybe one time after going through the whole divorce process. It was funny because actually my opponent afterwards told me that my ex-wife sent him a message letting him know that I just had ACL surgery.
Damn.
Oh yeah. She's like, left knee. Sweep the knee, Johnny.
Fucked up. Sweep the knee, Johnny. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got knocked out pretty fucking hard in that fight. And it just kind of was like, hey, I'm big and scary, and all these people don't want to fight me. The only people that will fight me are the ones who also aren't working, or are the ones who aren't working, and all they have to do is train. And I'm like, well, I have to fucking work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. I got to support my family and train. So I was kind of getting the short end of the stick. So I was like, you know what? I missed my window of opportunity. I just stopped.
Right.
And until, this whole BKFC thing popped up, I just kind of stopped up until then.
So BKFC calls you up. You start getting into this bare knuckle fighting world. What was
Oh,
that?
they didn't call me. I hounded their asses.
Oh yeah.
Hounded them. Yeah. I wanted it. So when I went back to training, I was like, all right, I'm just going to focus on my jiu-jitsu and just, work on my belts, blah, 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 blah. My second day there, I was talking to my coach, and he's like, hey, do you have any gloves? I'm like, no, why would I bring gloves to jiu-jitsu? And he's like, because I need someone to spar with Frank Mir. And I'm like, I'll bring my gloves and mouthpiece tomorrow. So I did, and I sparred with him, and that was when he was trying to get a fight for BKFC. And I was like, oh, we'll totally ride your coattails into the sunset on this and, be your training partner and try to make something happen off of it, I'm humble. I'll do that shit all day long. And so BKFC didn't work for him. Obviously, Triller. I was his main sparring partner for the entire camp of the first fight. Second fight, not so much because I had a few injuries myself. Kind of slowed me down. Scheduling conflicts. And we just, it helped because it made me start boxing rather than doing MMA. Like I just boxed. And then after that, I got in touch with Christine Ferreira because, we know each other. We've been out here. We've trained together. Well, not against each other, but in the same gym several times. And I'm like, yo, I want this. Like, who do I talk to? She gave me a few names, few numbers. I started kind of sending some unsolicited videos of me sparring with Mir and being like, yo, look, I'm doing decent. This guy just made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, and I'm doing good against him. Like, give me a shot. Started talking to different managers. And again, Christine helped me out in that process. And then when it came time where it was working out, she actually put me in touch with my coach, Chris, and because that was the coach she was using at that time. And, I owe a lot of my, where I am and where I've come from a lot to Christine because she's put me in touch with all the right people. And, she's great people and always done great by me.
Yeah, she's definitely an awesome person, I will admit. I reached out to her about something one time, and she instantly fucking responded to it and did it, and I was just like, holy shit. Like, yeah, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, she rocks. As long as you're cool with her, she's cool with you, and so it's copacetic,
Oh yeah, I definitely want to get her on the show pretty soon. I definitely want to do that. So man, the time before bare knuckle, you said you kind of stepped away from fighting for a little bit.
Yep.
You
I stepped away from competing. I didn't step away from training. Like, every now and then I'd go in, but because I wasn't so consistent, I'd end up with injuries left and right. Like even helping out Francis Ngannou for one of his fights because he was working at my gym, and I was like, he's a big dude. We don't have very many big dudes. I want my gym to do well by him. So I contacted my coach. I'm like, do you need a fat body? I'm like, I'm not sparring with this motherfucker. I'll roll with him. I'll hold his big ass down and make him work, But so I ended up working with him on that camp. And so, I trained off and on, but just nothing consistent.
And it was the the injuries that were derailing you at the time?
Oh, completely. I've had so many surgeries. I have a degenerative disc disease. Now, when I say I have that, like most most people who've done powerlifting and bodybuilding, like, oh, I have degenerative discs. Fuck them. They're being pussies. They don't have no fucking X-rays showing that shit. That's their excuse.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed when I was 18 with a blood disease for degenerative discs. Like I have an actual disease. But the best thing for it is being active. If I sit around and I'm lazy, that's when my back bothers me. When I'm moving and training and doing shit, that's when I'm good. So that's why when I would take a bunch of time off from training and then go back into the gym, that's when I hurt myself because my back wasn't used to it. When the more often and more consistent I am with training, the better I am.
So what kind of work were you doing at the time? Were you doing some kind of blue collar work, or you were just working out of the gym?
Working in bars. I've been bar management ever since I was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bartender now.
Oh yeah, really? That's badass. Okay.
Yeah. I'm at my bar. I'm supposed to be picking orders, and I'm in a big ass liquor room
Oh yeah.
distributing all the alcohol for all my bars, and yeah.
So do you own them or do you
myself.
work for them?
What was that?
Do you own them or do you work for them?
Oh, I work for them. I don't own shit. This is a multi-million-dollar company.
And I mean, what made you want to do that? I mean, what was the draw to working in bars for you? Did it start out as bouncing and then you just kind of picked up on the business as you went along?
So I always started out of bouncing. Like when there's natural leaders in the world, right? Like people who are just gravitate towards being management, gravitate towards leading others. And that's basically what it is for me. Like no matter what, every single job, if you take away the job I had at Foot Locker when I was 16 years old, every job after that, I became a manager. All of them. And so like when I was 18, I was already 255 pounds in high school. So I was in high school working at a nightclub, and that's just basically where it started. And then by the time I was 20, I was security manager and pretty much got away with that for a while. And then when I moved out to Vegas, or I ended up working warehouses, and I became a manager within 6 months. And there's people who were there for like 14 years pissed off because I barely know the job, yet I'm a manager. And then coming out here, working at a bar, within like 2 years, became a manager. And now, after being let go through the pandemic, I got hired on. And the only reason why I picked up bartending was because I was a manager and making great fucking money doing nothing. And like when I got let go, I was like, how do I duplicate this money? My girlfriend at the time, she was a gaming bartender. She's like, you just got to get a bartending job. So Vegas is, most towns, it's who you know, and Vegas is the same way. So I knew the right person and messaged him, and I became a manager. And that was, 2.5 years ago? And yeah.
So you've always, what you're kind of giving off is you've always started at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Always rose to the top. Like good old Macho Man Randy Savage said, the cream always rises to the top.
Exactly. Correct. This job right now that I have is the only time I've ever been hired as a manager. But since being hired as a manager, I've moved up to general manager. I was actually district manager for a moment, but between my job description and the other, this room back here, distributing alcohol and stuff like that, I was just too much for me. And it was funny is that I stepped down / got to, it was a mutual agreement, and we stepped down, and that was on a Tuesday, and I got my fight offer on Wednesday because realistically, if I was still doing my job and they came at me with this job offer, I probably would have had to have said no because I wouldn't have been able to get to the gym enough.
Yeah. Sorry about that laugh there. Fucking David Potter made me laugh. He commented and said, Josh Watson's such a bad motherfucker that during the pandemic, COVID had to get a Josh Watson booster shot.
Nice. I was trying to read it, but I couldn't while talking and tried. I saw something about a booster or a shot. Yeah.
So, man, COVID hits. Obviously, the bar business took a dip.
Yeah, they had to close.
Yeah, what were you doing at that time? How were you supplementing?
It was fucking college all over again. All I was doing was eating, lifting, and fucking and sleeping. It was college. That's all it was. It was, I enjoyed my trial run of retirement. I really liked it. It wasn't a big deal at all. I started powerlifting, got my bench well over 500 pounds. Started had nothing else better to do. I just would work out and recover. That was it. It was easy.
Yeah. So, man, your first fight in BKFC, how'd that go for you?
I got slept real hard.
Who was your first opponent? Because, man, I don't know exactly. I didn't get to do much.
So it was Brian Etchison, and I had like a can, we'll call him, lined up for me to fight initially. And I was like, yep, this is a perfect fight for me to start off with because this is a new venture for me,
Right.
And I joked around saying I should put my profile and shit on private so that he can't see what I'm doing. But fuck it. About 4 weeks before the fight, he drops out. No excuse. And of course, they have another person lined up because they don't tell you until they have a filler. They have this guy, Bryant. All I can find on him is that he's 4-3 amateur MMA, 1-0 pro MMA, 1-0 pro boxing. And I'm like, cool, MMA guy, turning fighter, turning boxing, cool. He had a few videos, and they weren't all that great. And then
fucking David's at it again.
I'm trying to see. I was actually trying to read that one. So we what was it? Oh, so I was like, all right, cool, yeah, well, fuck it, let's take this fight. This seems very even. And they're like, well, nothing's gonna be official till he gets out of prison. I'm like, what? He's like, well, he's in prison. He's due to get out 9 days before the fight. I'm like, okay, kind of strange, a little bit weird. Sure. I mean, what shape can he be in coming out of prison? Burpee shape, because from what I've learned from my friends who've been to prison, they don't let you train. They don't have heavy bags. The best you can do is do burpees. Like, they don't even unless you got a serious yard where you're at, you can't even run. You just do burpees in place. Maybe shadow box in your room when lights are out and no one's watching you. So I was like, yeah, this guy can't be shit. Turns out, I find this out after my fight, of course. When they were walking him down the aisle, the commentators, they were saying how he had, I want to say his amateur boxing record was 246-18.
Damn.
And that it all happened in the last year, and he was in prison.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
So he was on the, from what I found, he was on the Montana boxing team, prison boxing team.
Yeah.
And he had multiple boxing matches every single weekend. He had because you get extra treatment. So you get multiple meals, you get extra, just everything. And you fight for the prison. And I didn't know any of that shit. And, so I walked in thinking I was dealing with one thing. You watch all of his videos, and this motherfucker didn't throw a 1-2 down the middle once in any of his fights. And everything we were working on was round punches. He hasn't been training, so he's going to do what he's been training or what he's done in the past. Yeah, no, he just rocked me down the middle with a 1-2, got up, and then he threw a throwaway jab that was worth a shit. And my reaction, because we were working on round punches, was to come back with a hook. and I was throwing the hook. He threw the cross right down the middle and slept me, and I'm now the number 2 um, knockout in BKFC history.
Oh damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
whatever.
So man, fuck that fight. You go into
Right.
fucking Knucklemania 3,
Right.
and like David said just a while ago, motherfucker, you won houses for people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You go in against all odds, and everybody is fucking going Greg Hardy this, Greg Hardy that. I knew going in, Greg Hardy's a fucking wrestler, and this was not going to go good for him.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even give him credit for being a wrestler. Fucking when he came to MMA, he sucked on the ground. I wouldn't give him any credit for being a wrestler. But it seemed like everybody who was part of the organization, they kind of knew. Anybody who was a fighter, they definitely knew. Like coming in, like I had that, like, hey, here we go, good luck, let's get to this weekend. Like I had that, like the bro nod, like you got this. It definitely wasn't that, like, oh, you got a hell of a mountain to climb. Like, hey, good luck this weekend. It's gonna be a tough fight for you. It was the complete opposite. Everybody who was part of the show, they knew what I could do, and they all had my back.
Hell yeah! So you get the knockout, bro. What was that? What was that feeling like? What was that? What was it? Because I could see the fucking excitement on your face. That sense of that.
I mean, like shit. I almost wanted to cry. Like it was fucking awesome. Like it was leading up to. I mean, it is the biggest fight I've ever had in my career. It's the biggest name, biggest platform, biggest show, biggest everything. And I went out and I didn't 100% execute my plan. My plan was to try to starch his ass off the line so I could move my personal loss down the knockout list and put that one above it.
And you certainly fucking did it.
That was my full-on plan. But many people don't realize I got poked in the eye, not this shitty eye, the good eye. I got poked in like the first punch he threw.
Yeah.
And I was blind for like out of that eye for a solid minute. I couldn't see shit other than 3 Greg Hardys. And that's why like I was all wonky and looked like shit and just whatever. It wasn't until my eye came back and I was like, all right, here we go. And as we can see, as my eye went back, I, did what I did at the end of the round. And I came out the second round just fully confident and calm. Like I was stressing in the beginning because, after that first combination, I got clipped in the eyeball and, it made, like when you're in defensive mode, everything is tense and you just end up like exhausting way more energy than you do or than you should. And so, like when I came out the second round, it was a whole lot smoother. It was a lot easier and just, felt more natural.
You felt a sense of panic there a little bit. Would you say that?
Well, it's not so much panic. It was like just tense because it's like I can't really see him, and I can't fully gauge what's going on. So like my defenses were all over the place. Like there's times he fainted on me and my ass just totally broke at the waist, like full slip, like just overreacting to movements just because my sight was fucked. And, like I didn't know how to react to that. And once it came back, I was a whole lot better. And then kind of, I think Matthew just asked the question of being afraid of the fight was going to end because of the cut. Definitely when I dropped him at the end of the first round, like I dropped him, I took a step back and then cascade of blood down my face. I was like, holy fuck, what did he hit me with? We're still watching the video. I still can't see what punch ripped me open. We don't know. But
yeah,
right as he went,
that was definitely something I was kind of like, man, that cut's fucking nasty. Like, and the fucking blood, bro. I was like, man, bro, do not let this fucking happen. Like,
right, especially after me dropping him. So when I dropped him, right as I did it, my coach was like, 13 seconds. I'm like, all right. I'm bleeding like a motherfucker. I'm like, get up so I can start your ass again. Like I was rating, like I wanted him to get up so I could just fucking jump on him and hopefully end the fight.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't happen. Went to the corner, and I've gotten a shit ton of comments from it between they shouldn't have let me fight, to I ignored the doctors, to a bunch of shit. But realistically speaking, like I was totally fine in the corner. Shit, all those lights. I was fine in the corner, and like the doctor or the cut guy, when he wiped me on the very last wipe, all I saw was white. Like he got my eye with Vaseline. So I was good. I was standing up. I was ready to turn. He wiped me. I looked. I go, wait, I can't fucking see nothing now. And Mergliata was like, what'd you say? And I'm like, there's something. And I go, wipe my eye. And as I'm saying, wipe my eye, the doctor was like, let me look at him or something. And my coach, he's like, he's fine. I wiped my eye and I'm like, I'm fine. I just fucking ignored all of it and just went off into the ring. Like I was like, nope, we're not even looking at this thing because I know it's bad. We're just fighting.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And man, you come out and you fucking you score this epic knockout of the fucking night.
Yep.
Knockout of the fucking night. So going back to what I said earlier, you started at the bottom and that fucking cream rose to the top again. You see what see where I'm going here?
Definitely.
You fucking you get slept your first fucking fight. It becomes the number 2 fucking knockout in bare knuckle, and then you come out and you fucking put number 1 on the map with a fucking statement win, because every time you've been in that situation in your life, you've brought yourself back to the fucking top.
Right. Oh yeah.
And man, how does that make you feel, knowing that your entire life you've been having to do this, and every fucking time you step up and you make it happen?
Par for the course.
Par for the fucking course.
That's what I do. Like, I don't sit and bitch. I don't complain that, like I always got a mountain to climb. I'm just fucking do it. Climb the mountain. Shut the fuck up. Like
Straight up.
That's just basically how I've always been my entire life,
Bro, this dude here, he's fucking coming with all kind of shit tonight, bro.
Just one line in it, one after another.
He's one line in it, one after the fucking other. David, do you want to do this interview, David? This is my fucking show, David.
I'm waiting on that bonus. Someone just asked, Sharks asked if I got the bonus. I guess the bonuses come out on Thursdays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Give that man the fucking bonus. Give him the bonus. Do it.
No, it was awesome. I got an awesome photo. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I posted it of me reaching through the fucking ropes, yelling at Dave Feldman, telling him to give me that fucking bonus.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you don't get the fucking bonus, we riot. We're gonna have some fucking serious problems on the internet.
Right.
Well, yeah, but bro, what kind of advice would you give to those who, like you said, they sit on the fucking couch, they bitch, moan, and complain, and they just feel like they don't have the motivation or the fucking want to get the fuck up and get shit done?
I mean, fucking negativity is cancer. Being negative is just fucking cancer. Don't be negative. There's one thing of just like, oh, I'm gonna do it and just putting it off and procrastination and just not being there. But being negative, looking down on like your life situations and like trying to blame somebody else or blame something else and not yourself, that negativity is just fucking kill you. You'll never beat that negativity. Get rid of that shit. That is like one of my probably my biggest pet peeve. If you are negative, get the fuck out of my life. I don't want you around me. I don't care about you. Go jump off a fucking cliff because you're not doing anything. Like, just get away from me. Like, I hate negative people because most people that are negative put themselves in a negative position. They do whatever they do to be in that spot on purpose and then bitch about it. And it's old. It gets old real fast.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a fucking cancer. The people that you have around you, that's what you're going to be. Like the whole birds of a feather flock together phrase.
Right.
It's so fucking true. The whole one bad apple ruining the fucking bunch. Like all these little old sayings, they all mean the same fucking thing because, like you said, it's a cancer. The shit spreads, and especially when you have people in your life or you as a person. However, when you can pick up on the emotions of other people and you start feeling that shit,
right,
that shit affects you. Because like you said, negative people are always going to make negative fucking choices, whether it's career, whether it's decisions in life, whether it's fucking substances, whatever it is, negative people are always going to do negative shit.
It's the victim mentality.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody always wants to blame the next man because the whole fucking time they can't get their shit.
Right.
Well, bro, this has been a great fucking interview. You are household fucking name right now. Everybody's going to get a Josh Watson head tattoo. I went and shaved my head. I'm going to get mine here in a minute, by the way.
Fuck yeah. Just so you know, it hurts. Fucking hurts.
Yeah. David says I look like Bam Bam Bigelow, then I should get the Bam Bam Bigelow tattoo up there.
I mean, that's basically everybody like, oh, you look like a Bam Bam Bigelow. And I'm like, well, I got all my teeth, but we're almost there.
Straight
all bad motherfucker with beards get the Bam Bam Bigelow comment. I swear.
Yeah, especially once your head gets tattooed, then it's fucking automatic.
Oh yeah,
like I get one or two like, oh, you know who you look like, and I'm like, what, Batista or Bam Bam Bigelow? They're like, oh, you've heard that before, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking heard that before. Or better yet, they're like, hey, I got a question. I'm like, yeah, it hurts. Well, how'd you know I was going to ask you if it hurt? But
because everybody's fucking.
But since we're on that subject, did it hurt? And I'm like, see, you were going to fucking ask anyways.
Hey, Josh Watson, did it hurt when you fell from bare knuckle heaven? Oh, dang.
Are you trying to put a pickup line on him now,
my left hand hurts.
Dude, I still remember getting Liddy at the World MMA Awards. And your son, by the way, how's everything going with the season, by the way? Everything going good with the school, everything? With sports?
Yeah, he told me the other day he wants to try baseball, so I'm like, whatever, like, figure it out. And it was funny. He's like, hey, did you find anything else? I'm like, bro, you're going to use Google the same way I am. Do the work. You want to play it, figure out who I have to call.
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, so he's going to be a bad mofo just like his dad. So
he probably will be, like he does jiu-jitsu. He's getting a tough mentality. When he played football this past season, he went from being kind of, I wouldn't say soft, but definitely went by the end of the season was leading his team in tackles and was being a tough SOB. So like, I enjoy it. It was great to watch.
Oh yeah, brother.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, bro, something I like to do, 5 random questions off the top of my head.
All right.
Apparently, I got told I asked some stupid questions to Lieben earlier, so I'm going to try to come up with some better ones.
Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Questions are questions. All I know is I have to piss so bad, so let's roll.
All right. 5 questions. We're going to hurry this up. All right, bro. So, what's your number 1 go-to beer?
I fucking hate beer. Fuck that. Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
And as you can see, my cup is empty.
Fucking right. A1. Okay, cool. Number 2, what's your go-to meal?
Birria tacos.
Ooh, yeah. I feel that. Number 3, what's your favorite movie, bro?
Favorite movie is, what's funny is that, like, my mom would have saved probably hundreds of dollars if she just bought Bloodsport for me. Instead, we'd go to the movie store, and I'd either rent Bloodsport or Lost Boys, 50-50.
Okay. Man, if you could do one thing in your lifetime, whether it's skydiving, deep sea diving, deep sea fishing, whatever the fuck it is, what would you do?
I don't know. That one's kind of vague. I'm gonna throw that on there. I'm gonna throw that on there. It's not a great question because that's very vague. Because I mean, like, fuck, I've done deep sea fishing. That's not. I went sharking for my friend's bachelor party.
Okay. Let's specify a little bit then. What would you do that's extreme, out of the fucking norm? What would you like to do?
I heard if you go to Thailand for $500, they'll let you shoot a cow with a bazooka.
If that's fucking true, I am getting $500 together ASAP.
Right?
Look, I have no fucking comeback for that right now. Fuck. All right, bro. Number 5. Where's your favorite, or where do you want to go vacation spot?
Well, some like island. I don't even give a shit where. I want to relax. Been a minute since I've had a adult vacation.
Hell yeah.
I'm not very picky. Just as long as it's nice, I don't care.
Hell yeah. Well, bro, we're wrapping it up. It's been a great fucking interview. You got anything? Any shout outs? Anything like that? Sponsors?
Well, I always shout out to everybody from Maine, everybody from Vegas. I have probably one of the strongest, genuine groups of people following me, because I've been at this for so long, and everybody says I'm like a humble person and all that shit. I'm like, but I fucking love all my fans, all my friends. I don't even call them fans. I don't have fans. I have friends. And I have so many friends. And when it comes time for me to perform, they're the ones on my mind. I can deal with a loss. I just don't like fucking dealing with letting everybody down. The letdown is what worries me the most. That's what stresses me out. So, it's the fans. I fucking love them.
Well, you sure didn't fucking let nobody down the other night, bro.
Right.
We appreciate you being on tonight. We appreciate the fucking performance you put on tonight. Go take your fucking piss, get it all out, and go enjoy your night, bro. All right?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye. Yeah, that's got to be down so people can see.
Having a hard time going back to the gym after working out at home? Well, now you don't have to with the X-Bar. The X-Bar from X-Bar Fitness is an incredible gym alternative that gives you the same intense workout you get at a full gym with hundreds of machines. One X-Bar alone provides the same workout as a cable machine, bench press, dumbbell set, free weights, leg press, barbell set, and all these other machines. Stop wasting time debating whether or not you should go to the gym. Order the X-Bar to get a quality workout in the comfort of your own home.